For this video, I wanted to talk about positivity, or at least trying to be positive. Now, I feel like when I was younger, when I was younger, I mean, I was a kid, but oh man, I feel like I was just annoying and like low key bad, or just like, I don't care this, I don't care that. But there was just like an awakening that I had as a kid somewhere along where I was just like, yeah, all of this negativeness is just not going to get you anywhere. And it's like as if I was seeing something like seeing that type of energy within the future, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be good, and you're going to be it's just not going to be good. You're just going to be a miserable person. So I eventually ended up changing my ways to be positive, and I was just nothing but that, and I've just been nothing but that since then, or at least trying to strive for positivity because I am older now. And um I don't know, maybe it's because of like how I was raised, or the things that were said, I don't know. But honestly, I would really rather try to be positive than negative. Now, of course, I'm human, though, so of course I'm gonna have my negative moments, but that's usually by myself to myself. Um, I usually try not to be a pessimist around other people because it just feels icky and just like not worth it. And it's just like, what's the point? What's your whole purpose just to bring this energy onto someone else. But um I think it's also just the fact of like just wanting to be heard too. So it's like, okay, if there's something is going on, it just happens to be negative, but I have no one to talk to. It's like, okay, or I feel like I have no one to talk to, or I want to talk to someone. It's like, it's not like I'm going into it like, oh, I want to make this person feel like me, but I just want to talk to someone. So it's like the whole thing of being just, going back and forth with that. But I genuinely feel like real genuine uh positivity can go such a long way. I feel like most of the interactions I had, especially in school, was because I was being positive, or at least trying to be, because like, what's the point of being a prick? What's the point of being nasty and just hateful towards someone? I mean, there are people out there I'm sure have their reasons, but for me, it's like I don't gain nothing from that besides just more negativeness and being miserable and miserable. Misery love company, and it's just like, ugh, like I don't want more miserable people around me. It's just energy draining, and I'd rather just be around people or have a circle that's just striving for positivity, even though it's hard because again, we're all human, and then life is it's a roller coaster, so you're gonna have your down moments, but it's all about perception too. Do I wanna keep hindering on this problem or whatever that's making me feel like this, or do I wanna try to change and work my way around it? Um, so it's just like stuff like that. And I feel like for the most part, I mean, kept me. It's like you know, it kept me humble. I'm definitely humble, and I'm also just the type of person that tries to see myself in someone else's shoes. Just really, it's all about perception and just because you never know what someone's going through, and you never know how a person got to where they did, or what happened. So because of that, just like just trying to be positive, or just being nice and kind to people. I feel like it's just the way to go because you just never know when it's someone's last straw. You never, you just never know. Um, and I feel like if anything, what I gained out of being positive is just more positivity. Hopefully more kindness. Now, obviously, not all the time that's the case because you just got people out there that's just like weird. But I never wanted to get to a point where I let the world make me a miserable person or whatever. Like I want to just continue being who I am. There's definitely going to be things within the world and of people that's gonna make me stronger and just make me, fall back or whatever. But I think really in my case, and from like just the things I experienced growing up to now, is why I will always try to continue to be positive. Um Obviously too, even though I strive to be positive, there is a time and a place. So I'm never gonna like be that person that's gonna try to like if someone's feeling negative, you know sometimes some people, they just want a person to talk to. Sometimes they don't want to hear, you know sometimes they don't want to hear words in general. maybe not even the fact that it's negative or positive. They just want someone to talk to. So they just want someone to listen. So it's not like I'm going to be like that type of person that's always just shoving positivity down someone's throat if that's just not what they're feeling like. Sometimes they just want a person to listen to. And that doesn't mean I'm about to have to act like I that gives me the role to just be negative since they're being negative. Like everything's a choice. And it's all about just proceeding with caution and just using discernment and just really seeing where your energy is valuable at. um and yeah, because at the end of the day, we're all human and things happen. So not all the time you can really be positive or, whatever. Because, life can really get testy and depending on your lifestyle too. It's just so much, so many factors. Um, but I feel like, just thinking about like where I'm at right now with my life and how things are for me, it's like, yeah, I like this. Let's just be this because this is really all that I know. It's like, of course, I feel of course, I have everyone has it in them to be a good or a nice person. It's really everything's a choice, but I just choose to try to be the best person that I can be because you just never know what someone's going through. And I feel like me just being the person I am and just observing, I love observing. I feel like that alone can give insight to just to, can give insight to a person when you're just observing without speaking to them. And I feel like if you know the story, if you lived it, or if you're around that person, you grew up with that person, whatever the case may be, to make a person how they are, it's like, okay, just having empathy and just understanding for certain types of people or whatever, um you know makes up for it. So yeah, being positive is just, I feel like it just gotten me the interactions that I had because of it, and yeah, I only know how to be like that's just genuinely me. Um, but there are times, the hardest times is when it's like I am going through something personally, but maybe I'm in public, so it's just like fudge. I just like my face is gonna show something different, but you know, if a random person were to say something to me, um, it wasn't like mean or nothing. It was just like a regular hi or whatever. I don't know. I'm not about to just be nasty. I'm not about to just be, because I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling. I think it's just all about somehow having that awareness, being aware of yourself and just others, and just like knowing, like, oh, I may feel this way, but that doesn't mean everyone around the world gotta now feel that way because like that's just weird. No, um, and also just that's another factor too, just being self-aware. I am too self-aware, uh but it's also a blessing because I feel like if I wasn't aware of myself the way that I am, I don't know how things would have really went for me. And I feel like it's almost like a gift of being, it's a gift and a curse. I feel like of just being how self-aware and just aware in general of things. But the best thing about it is like when you're so aware of yourself, no one can tell you any different. Cause just like, how are you gonna tell me about myself when I'm with me 24/7? You know. So yeah, it's not always going to be easy, and it can definitely get testy. And you're gonna have those people that try to take advantage, which is so weird. Like, huh? But okay, I see your character. Like, ugh, that's how you want to be. It's like stuff like I just can't be that person that, oh, this person's nice, I'm going to take advantage of them. Like, huh? It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. And I also hate the fact of like when you're genuinely like a nice person or you're at least trying. It's just like, why is it that way? Why is it that the people that are genuinely trying their best get the worst crap, but the people that are just mean and just ugly and ugly character and stuff, they just get it all. It's like, huh, it's so interesting how it works. So that's why I guess you just gotta have balance, and that's just like with everything, just gotta have balance. But in the end, I think I'm gonna just really always try to strive for positivity because that's just all I know, or at least that's what I want to know. If I were to, if I don't know, I don't even want to know if life were to really get me so down bad like that to where I'm just like I'm on the opposite end. Oh man, but like again, it happens, but it's all about how long do I want to stay in that bubble? And, how can I try to go back to what I feel is normal for me? Um, and yeah, I feel like most of this world, that's just some love and positivity. Oh my goodness, is what we can use and need. But you really just got monsters out there, and that's what I find to be so sickening and sad. But you know, yeah, to each their own. And yeah, being positive and just making sure to not take things for granted too. Like there's just so much that comes with it. Um, and there's just, at least there's just, for me too, I always just try to make sure to remind myself to cherish and to hold on to, and just make sure, that something didn't come off the wrong way too. Um, just to make sure that I didn't make someone else uncomfortable. Because like that's like the last thing I want to do. Um, but I feel like, you know, to each their own, and depending on the type of person you are or whatever, I feel like it can possibly, like, being positive can go a long way. Uh, Especially if it's what gets you through your life. Um, it's just like if that's the way to go, that's the way to go. Because I honestly can't see, like, me being the way that I am. Is like right now I couldn't even fathom it being the opposite way, just being negative, and that negativeness is getting me through life. Like that don't even sound right to me, because that's just not my character, and that's just not my way of living, and that's just not how I was raised. Um but yeah.